Hi everyone and welcome back to a new tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be making an advanced data saving system that will be compatible with any game, since you will be able to add any currency you want to a table and it will save it automatically. And before I start this tutorial, I just want to let you guys know, please do not follow this tutorial if you are a beginner scripter or you don't know the basics of the basics, because I see a lot of people in my comments section saying for example, your code is not working, your code never works, you fake tutorials. I just want to let you guys know everything works. You just gotta do it correctly. You have to know how to fix your own errors. You have to know how to you have to know the basics, really. And yeah, and if you guys don't want to follow my tutorials, everything will be available on my Patreon. All of the project files are on my Patreon in the $10 tier. And yeah, let's start. So what we're gonna start with is a very simple point system, or maybe if you want to call it, like, for example, well, it's basically just let's give the player some leader stats. So we're gonna rename this to leader stats. Okay, so in here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to have the players service. So players is equal to game get service players. And then we're gonna put a wait 2 seconds here. And then we're gonna do players, we're gonna do local function on player added. And then we're gonna get the PLR, and we're gonna do local leader stats is equal to instance.new, and we're gonna create a folder, and we're gonna do leader stats.name is equal to leader stats, and we're gonna do leader stats dot parent is equal to PLR. PLR. And after doing that, we're gonna create a currency. So for example, I'm gonna have points, and we're gonna set that to instance.new, and we're gonna create an int value, and we're gonna do points.name is equal to points, and then we're gonna do points.value is equal to 0, and points.parent is equal to leader stats. Now I'm going to have a second currency. Let's rename it to wins, for example. So I'm gonna have it at wins. You can change these to whatever you want, or you might already have them in your game. And yeah, now we're gonna do game. We're gonna do players.player added, connect, and we're gonna do on player added. Okay, so after doing that, because of the wait, we're gonna do a for underscore comma player in pairs players get players, or instead let's do it in next and players get players. We don't need these parentheses at the moment, and we're gonna do dot wrap, and we're gonna wrap the on player added, and we're gonna send the player. Okay, so that should be working. Now if you go ahead and play the game, you should have some leader stats on the top right corner. As you can see, we have points and wins, so that kind of works. Now we will add the actual data saving system. So add a script, rename it to data underscore saving. Sorry, I really don't know what's wrong right now, but I don't know why everything is lagging. I think it's something with Studio, because it's like really lagging if I try to touch anything. Okay, so sorry about that. We're gonna create some variables. So we're gonna get the players service, and we're gonna do that to game get service players. After doing that, we're gonna do local data store service, and we're gonna set that to game get service data store service. And then we're gonna do local data store, and we're gonna set that to data store service get data store, and we're gonna set that to okay, so we're gonna set that to, well, basically anything. You just gotta make a key. So I'm just going to have it at 20. This can be anything. It can be literally just yes. or let's rename it for now to data key test 1. That's kind of a long name, but that's not really a problem. So we're gonna have two functions in here: local function on player added, and of course we're gonna get the player, and we're gonna have a function for, or actually let's rename this to save data, and we're gonna have a function for load data, so load data, and then we're gonna get the player. And I forgot about something. On the top here, we're gonna have a table, so local currencies underscore to underscore save, and we're gonna set that to an empty table, or actually it won't be empty. We're gonna have it at, for example, so we have points, and we're gonna add our wins. This can be anything. As I said, this is very modular, and make sure you put a comma or a semi-comma. I don't know what it's called, but you gotta put it there. And now we'll have some player added functions. So player added connect and load data, because we're gonna load the data when they play the game and when they leave it. So player removing connect, and we're gonna save their data when they leave. And let me check that I'm still recording. Yes. So after saving their data, we're gonna do the same thing. So for underscore comma player in pairs players get players do coroutine dot wrap, and we're gonna do load data, and we'll put the player. So we're gonna send the player. Okay, so after doing that, I think that should be it. Now we're gonna create some functions here. So we're gonna have a big table for our data. So local data is equal to an empty table, and then we're gonna have a local success, comma error is equal to pickle function, and in this pickle, we're gonna use set async, and in the load function, we will use get async. So here's what we'll be doing. We're gonna insert everything to this table, so it will look like this. We're gonna have coins. Well, let me show you how it will look like. After adding the data, it will look like this. Coins is equal to 50, and points is equal to, and something like 25 or 150. But that's not what we want. We're gonna do that from the script because we don't know how much coins the player will have, or how much points, whatever you want to call it. So here's what we'll be doing. We got the pickle function, and down here we're gonna do if success then, and we're gonna do else, and yeah, keep those like that in here. Here's what we'll be doing. We're gonna do local, we're gonna do okay, so for underscore comma, and let's do for underscore comma currency in pairs plr in pairs currencies to save do, and in here we're gonna have an if statement. So, or before we do the if statement, we're gonna do local plr currency is equal to plr player. I'm gonna get their leader stats. In fact, let's make that a variable. So up the top here, I'm gonna do local folder name, and we're gonna set that to, for example, leader stats, just like we have it up here, and we're gonna do folder name. And plr currency, so all you have to do is plr currency, and we're gonna find the currency. So after doing that, I don't think we need the index, so that's why I put an underscore up there. And after getting the currency, we'll be doing data. So local data currency is equal to, or let's do data currency data, and we're gonna do square brackets. Let me just zoom in. square brackets, and currency is equal to PLR currency dot value. After doing that, that should insert the value to the table and set it to whatever value the PLR currency is. And after doing that, we will, well, save the data. So we're gonna do a data store, or I think we called it data store. Yes, data store. And we're gonna do colon set async, and we're gonna get the player user ID. So we need a unique key for each player. And let me show you what user ID does. So if you go to Roblox right now, here is what a user ID is. So if you go to your profile, sorry, for some reason it's lagging. This is your ID, this number up here. Each player has his own ID. So let's, for example, choose a random friend. Let's pick, for example, Critics Dev. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but as you can see, he has a unique ID. So each player will have his unique ID. So in here, we're gonna do player dot user ID. Make sure to spell it right with capital U and capital I. Dot dot, and you don't really need this right now, but just do it. We're gonna rename this to, for example, leaderstats, or let's just not have it. Okay, this is just kind of useless, so I'm not going to have it. So plr.userid, and we're gonna do a comma. Anyways, let's have it. Leaderstats, comma, and or let's rename this to stats instead. And here's what I want to do. I'm going to send the table, so the big data table. After doing that, we're gonna do if success, then print pl player dot name dot data. Let's do data was successfully or was saved. So we're gonna print that other data was saved. Else we're gonna error and the error message. So error. Okay, so after doing that, we have that working, and in here we're gonna have a p call. So local data again. I'll show you what that does. So we're gonna in here we created the data table, and in here we're gonna return it when they join the game. So for right now, this variable is going to be set to nothing, which means nil. It's kind of like you did this, but basically with basically nothing. And in here is what we're gonna be doing. We'll do the same thing here. So local success, comma error is equal to p call function. And after doing that, in here again, if success, then else, and again we're gonna keep that empty right now. And what we'll be doing is if, alright, so local returned local saved data, and we're gonna do is equal to, and we're gonna set that to data store colon get async. So as you can see in here, we set the async, and in here we're gonna, well, get the async. So player dot user ID dot, and we're gonna do stats, comma, and we don't need the comma, sorry, because it's already returned. And we're gonna do if saved data is not equal to nil, then, and then I'm gonna do data is equal to saved data. And after doing that, we're gonna be looping through the player's money. So I think I'm going to do that up here. So or underscore comma currency in pairs or in next plr player dot leader stats colon get children or player folder name con get children do local currency value is equal to save data, and actually we're gonna do data. We're gonna get the currency name, so currency dot name, and then we're gonna get our value. So never mind, we don't really, we have the value. This already returns the value, and what we're gonna be doing is currency dot value is equal to value to currency value, sorry. Okay, so if success, then print plr player dot name dot data was loaded, else we will kick the player. So if their data was not successfully loaded, then we're gonna want to kick them. Why, you might ask? Well, because you are basically, if their data was not loaded and they joined the game, then everything will be resetted. So 0 coins, 0 points, 0 wins. And if they rejoin, their data will be saved. So we'll call the save data function. And we don't want that to happen, because next time they will join, they will have 0. Their stats will be resetted. So we'll be doing else if error and data is equal to nil, then error, or actually if error and data, okay, so if error, or let's just put an else instead, I don't think we need all of that. Else we'll do player con kick, and your data could not be loaded, please not be loaded, please rejoin. That's how we'll have it. So let's try playing the game. Okay, so we got kicked. Now this is because of that. So your data cannot be loaded. Leaderstats is not a valid member of plr.polaris prog. Okay, so that's a very, very simple bug to fix, because we are calling this load data function before the player has any leaderstats. So that's very, very simple. In here we're just going to have a repeat wait loop. So repeat wait 1 second until player can find first child leaderstats, and that should be it. After doing that, we might as well just wait another 2 seconds, because why not? And now we're gonna play the game. So we played the game, please don't kick me, and we got kicked. Now here's why. API is not API services. Okay, so I basically forgot to enable API services, so publish replace, and we're gonna rename this to data saving tutorial. And let's just go back to game settings. So go to home, game settings, go to security, and enable studio access to API services. And now if you go ahead and play the game, I really hope this won't kick me. Okay, so that's very, very simple to fix. Oh, well, here's why. Oh wait, never mind. Okay, so else if error and data is equal to nil, and data is equal to nil, or is not equal, if data is not equal, oh, what's wrong with me? Okay, so let's think of this. So we're gonna check if error and data is not equal to nil. Okay, so we still have to think about this. So we're gonna check if it's an error if saved data is not equal to nil, then okay, so that should be working. So let's play the game. Now hopefully this will work. Okay, so we're gonna check if if this is equal to nil this time. Okay, so please don't kick me. Okay, so it did not kick me. So let's go ahead. Set our wins value to something like 5 and our points to 25. As you can see, now we have 25 points and 5 wins. So we're gonna go ahead, leave the game, and it did not print that our data was saved, and that's actually very simple to fix. We're gonna do game.bind grows function, and we're gonna loop through every single player in the game, copy that, paste it here, and instead of loading their data, we're gonna save their data, and then we're gonna put wait 1 second. Now play the game, and hopefully that will work just fine. So our points will not be loaded, and that's very simple, because well, they were not even saved. So we're gonna put these to 25 and 10 wins this time. So as you can see, we have 25 points, 10 wins. We're gonna leave the game. Players pros data was saved. Oh, I put a space. Let me just remove that real quick. And rejoin. And wait. And we have a problem. Great. So I think that's pretty simple to fix. So in here, we'll just print currency value, and we're gonna print the currency before printing its value. So print currency. Okay, so I think this should be working now. So it did not even print anything. So let's try to just print that the player was added. Print player added, just to check the function is actually run. Data is equal to saved data, and we'll just print past. Okay, so let's just print A, or print saved data. The data table was set, and in here we'll just print saved data, because I think print saved data, not that. So the player added function does work. Now this is some debugging right here. Oh, okay, that's a very simple thing to fix. So all you have to do is check if saved data, I spelled it wrong for some reason. So check if saved data is not equal to nil, not the saved data function, because that was quite a problem. Okay, so our stats are loaded and we have 0, so we're gonna try to get 5 wins, 25 points. Now we will go ahead, rejoin, play again, and hopefully that should save our data. So yes, great, it worked. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and test this on a proper Roblox game. So Alt P, and we're gonna go back to Roblox. We're gonna go to create. We're gonna get our place, and we're gonna rejoin it. And hopefully, or before we do that, sorry, I'm gonna have to shut down all of these servers. So shut down all servers, and I'm going to reset my data. So test key 2, Alt P to save, and as you can see, it says it was updated just now. So we're gonna go ahead and rejoin, and our data should be reset. So points are set to 0 and wins are set to 0. And now I'm just going to give myself some coins, so, or I mean points and wins. So game.players prog .leaderstats .points .value is equal to, let's change that to 15 or 146, a random number. Or let's just set it to a random number, just to prove that this works. So we're gonna get a random number from 1 to 50, and let's see if that works. So it shows 8, so we have 8 points. We're gonna leave the game, refresh, rejoin, and hopefully our data should be saved after 3 seconds. So it's waiting for, yeah, okay, so 8 points. Now we're gonna try to give myself a random amount of points and a random amount of wins. So I'm going to give myself some wins, and it gave me 12 wins. So I'm going to leave, rejoin. Sorry if I keep on switching between tabs. Okay, so it should be loaded in a few seconds, and as you can see, everything works fine. So I think this is going to be it for today's tutorial. If this helped, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and yeah, I will see you all in the next tutorial. Bye!